What's going on, guys? Alan here, um, doing another trade review for my trades today, Monday, November 29th, 2021. Up on the screen, I have the overall market, the QQQ. As you can see, let's see here. On Friday, we had some weak overall market action, um, and looking very toppy around 4. As you can see, it was resistance here. Now it was resistance last week and Friday, this dip. And today we're seeing if we can push it, but it's looking like it's very toppy here too, putting in what might be lower highs. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I just like starting these out with a view of the overall market, just so you know how it's been going today, choppy, and then the gradual uptrend. But overall, what's going to happen now. So we'll see. But we're going to go ahead and get right into my trades for today. I certainly traded a lot. I already have the arrows on these, but pardon me because I'll have to add the arrows on the other ones. First trade was BFRI. This was the biotech that was up on news. I traded it on both of these days. Made some, lost some. Um, and as you can see, pre-market, what is this? 929, 928, 27. 927, this thing went from 942 all the way down to, actually I could just highlight the candle, sorry. Went from 949 all the way down to, no, maybe I should zoom in a little bit more, make it a little easier for myself. $672. So let's see, what are we looking at there? That's let me maximize this sell. So we're looking at 948 to 672. That's a 29% drop from pre-market levels, and I got in at the open. I didn't know if it could go any more. It looked like it was holding this level that I have here. Yeah, this was previous support, previous high. So I wanted to see if it could hold that level or right there around it. And it cracked it hard a couple minutes later. Not hard, but it cracked it lower than previously, so I just took it off. That's fine. I want to see what kind of lows this can put in anyways. So that was a small loss. Then we'll move into what I really should have done was just kept watching this. But we'll move into my next trade, CARS. This one was BFRI. Next trade is CARS, cars. Let's see, I think this is an EV. Is this an EV deal? Cars.com. Cars.com. Let's see. As you can see, today is the second day of spiking. I just drew one support level here because it broke out in the lower 15s, and I kind of wanted to see if it could dip and hold this breakout, but it just kind of kept pushing all day today. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know how I could have traded that any worse, to be honest. Um, but we'll go over it regardless. Um, let's see, I think 1643 I entered. Oh, that's it. Okay. So what I need to keep in mind is what is this thing's range, I mean, even though it did spike, let me back out a little bit. Even though it did have a morning spike, quote unquote, at the open. That was, let's say, 1614 to 1650. What is the actual percentage on that? So, whoops. It's only a 2% spike, So even from here, 16 to 1660, it's It's only three. If you capitalize on this, you're making just under 4%. That's something I really need to think about. Um, but I entered, um, I entered here. I thought that it could kind of hold this high, and my risk was red to green. Um, it cracked, and I sold when it hit red to green. Now, I should have looked for the exact opposite, some bottoming action, and then I could have bought again and wrote it up. But again, even here, what are you looking at? 16 to, you know, 17, let's just say. I mean, what's the percentage here? Is this even something that, 6.5% if you sat through all of this? Um, so I'm not saying you should or shouldn't take it, or I should or shouldn't take it, but what's the real? Is that as volatile as how should I put it? Is this the stock that's the most volatile today? Is this something that you want to focus your time on, or could your attention be directed somewhere else? So just food for thought for myself. Um, but yeah, took a small loss on it. I know it looks bigger than it is, but I only took 1.99% on that, so not bad. I had my plan, cut it, um, and that's that. Maybe I should have cut it. Well, my plan was red to green, so that's okay. Third trade for today, PTN. We're going to back out of this. PTN. Let's see. Yeah, this is a biotech company up from the 35-cent area, 35, 40s. Um, let's see. We had this beautiful move on Friday from, under 55 cents all the way up to a dollar. So I mean, 100% on your money. I definitely wouldn't have held through all that, but maybe I would have taken it off here at 70-ish, 68. But excellent move. And today, trying to see what it could do. As you can see, it's just been kind of mid-rangey today, but it seems like it's pushing up here um, over the course of the day. 951. Let's see. So I missed all this. I missed this run up. And where did I get in here? 951. So I got in here at 8332. Whoops. Horrible entry, but it is what it is, I guess, looking back at it. So I got in here. I think my risk was VWAP, and for some reason I sold it. Let me back out and look at this a little bit more here. I'm going to maximize this sell as well. My risk was not VWAP. I put a closer risk on this because of this pre-market high and this pre-market area here, these areas. Let me see if it goes even further back. Yeah, so I saw that it was kind of topping there. I wanted to see it base. I wanted to see it base near there, and it just didn't. So I took it off. I mean, hindsight, yeah, it still held above VWAP here, but I ended up taking it off at 953. Oh boy, right here. So today I found out that, or I realized that for some reason today I've just been doing the opposite of what I should be doing. Um, where I sold here, I should have bought. And you're going to see that as a theme for my trades today. So moving forward, I'm going to continue to try to think of doing the opposite of what I would normally want to do. Um, so yeah, that ended up being a small loss there. Um, broke my risk, so I just got out. I should have cut it a little quicker. right as soon as it broke it, and then I could have maybe had my head on straight and re-entered for a potential bounce. But it is what it is at this point. All right, so we're going to move on to the next trade, which is PTN once again. And actually, I did get back into this. I apologize. I traded a lot today, and that's not necessarily a good thing. But I saw that this bottomed here. Oh, what's going on with my sheet over here? I saw that it bottomed, so I entered at 954. I saw a potential bottom. I got in at 8119. Not a great entry, but I'll take it. Um, So I got in here. I think I also need to start working on hitting the bid instead of trying to hit the ask, because I hit the ask to try and get in as quickly as possible, but if I hit the bid, maybe I can get filled at a nicer area, or even put in pricing that I would like to get hit at ahead of time when I see it dipping. So that'll come in time. But I got in here. Um, my risk was going to be VWAP. Um, and let me see. 957. I sold. 842. It's right about there. Oh boy. You have to be so exact with this or else it just goes away. Um, so that was a good little gain. I made 3% or almost 4% on it. Not bad. On the previous one I lost about the same, just under it. So um, ended up being up on this one, or on this ticker overall. But not bad. And I'm glad that I'm seeing where I screw up and re-entering. But I need to work on not entering in the first place, or maybe entering when it's only ideal. So that was a decent little gain there. And next trade, BFRI. Uh, you'll remember this one. I traded it at the open, cut it quick because I thought it was going to continue downward. But I was watching for a bottom, and if I maximize this, you'll laugh at what I did. So obviously now this is a double bottom here and here. I saw that it bottomed, and I saw that it was dipping, and I believe right about here, yeah, right in here is where I entered at 672. So I entered in here with the risk of low of day. And what I really should have done, I keep saying should or could, but even if I got in here because I thought it was going to continue, that's fine because I'm risking this. But as soon as it shows strength near the low, or when it gets around my risk level, maybe I should have added again, or maybe I should have added just to reduce or to lower my average. But I did not. Instead, I cut it at 10:09 right here at 6:45. Um, and this is goes along with the theme of what I was just saying. Today. I've done a lot of things that were the exact opposite of what I should do, and I don't know if it's because we had a longer weekend because of Thanksgiving. I don't know why, but today something just felt off. Maybe I should have just stepped away, but I didn't, and I cut it here because I really didn't want it to just crack and continue downward. Obviously, hindsight, if I just waited, that would have been a nice little gain. Um, but what can you do? You know, except just learn from your mistakes and move forward. Um, yeah, good lesson. And I also did not re-enter this when I should have just watched it and maybe even bought into here on this higher low. Um, but I also have a knack for, if I miss this little bit of a run up, I don't feel like getting in because I feel like I'm chasing, and the ideal position was down here, which is ironic because my original position was the same level. So if I just got in at the same point and risked the same levels, I would have been in the money at this point. But I just didn't. So good lesson for me. and I will continue to think about these things as time goes on. Next trade was PTPI. PTPI. Oh, and this was another not great one, but what can you do? History of one-day spikers, as you could see, a lot of top wicks, um, no volume, top wick even on this major volume candle. And today we had a gap up, and it's already putting in kind of a top wick today. So I mean, these things can continue to push, but I wouldn't expect it to continue on just because of its history of top wicks. But I mean, it's got volume, so it doesn't have to obey what's been going on in the past here. So let me zoom in on the, whoops, let me zoom in on the chart here, and let's see, at 1017, oh, 1017, right in here at 395 was my entry. I'll say it again. Today I've just been doing things backwards. I don't know why, if it's opposite day or what, but I just was not in sync with what I should be doing. Um, Clearly, this came up, dipped down below VWAP, and I thought that using this level as risk, um, I thought that this could continue to push. But I just have a knack for getting in when it's the wrong time. And I believe I sold, yeah, right here, 1022 at 360. So I just have to, tomorrow I'm going to focus on, if there are plays tomorrow, I'm going to focus on trying to do the opposite. Instead of when I see moves or price action here, I'm going to wait. Or at least that's just something I just need to work on. I don't think I'll be able to get it in a day, but I have to just work on it, obviously. I mean, this was a significant loss, almost 9%. I only lost $9 because I'm playing with small position size and my risk was low. I think my risk was actually this level. Um, Now that I look at it, yeah, it was probably this level here. And again, just another perfect instance of, it came up, double bottomed, it came up, put in a higher low. I could have bought into here, but instead, because I got all frazzled with this significant loss, it kept me from, making that gain back and then, future gains. I mean, look at where it ended up going. Even if you got in here at 370, ended up taking it 5, let's just say that's a 35% increase. If you happen to get in even into here, 380s, let's say 4 even, you know, if you buy it anywhere in here or if you're getting into here, even on this higher low action, you're looking at over a 25% gain. So, um, I started trading earlier because I don't want to miss the morning volatility of the Nasdaqs, but that does seem to be an issue because I overtrade and then I exhaust myself out um, for the afternoon plays. So just something I'm going to keep in mind for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll probably try not to trade in the morning, or at least very, very little in the morning, and then I'll try to capitalize on these plays like I've been saying. And I do feel a little bit more comfortable in the Nasdaq plays. I know it's only been a week or so, maybe a week and a half since I've been trading them. I think it's been about a week. Let me see. But regardless, I just have to keep the perspective in mind and the time of day in mind. Um, but so that was a moderate loss there. Not too happy about it, but that's part of the journey. Next, BFRI. BFRI, traded this one again. I missed this double bottom, like I said. I bought and sold into here. Missed this run up from, let's say 670 to 845. So, I mean, that would have been a nice 26% gain. So, good job missing that. And then I ended up doing what I've been doing today, which is, let me zoom in here, which is doing the opposite. It came up It came up from that double bottom, and for some reason I just decided to get into this resistance. Why? You're obviously up a significant, 26% you've just come up in a few minutes, you know, and you're going to go ahead and get in at the highs thinking that it's going to immediately give you something else. So that's just annoying to me that I make these mistakes, but how else are we going to improve, other than just going through them in detail and seeing how it can be done better. So my risk was red to green. I wanted to see it hold that. And I should know by now it's just not an exact science. So whenever I say red to green, maybe I should just give it a couple cents below it or above it or regardless or not regardless, but whatever my trade might be, just give it a little bit of wiggle room. So I'll probably do that coming up. But because these things tend to go a little bit below that, shake out some people like it probably did in here, and then spike back up. Um, but I cut it right in here, above the break to red. So not too bad. You know, it was a loss. 801. I cut it. Let's see, that was right here. So 830 to 801. It was a 3.5% loss. I really should have been waiting with my entry, but I just was impatient, and I was upset that clearly I missed this. I was in it, and I just got shaken out right above the double bottom. So this is why it's important to stick to your play or your rules of the trade before you get into it. And I broke my rule. I sold before it cracked. I missed this, and that led to me taking a trade where I took a loss. So just good lessons. Um, Going on to my next trade. Again, I traded PTPI. I'm just going to keep this on the full screen because we know what this one looks like. PTPI. Let's see. That was the original screw up there. And again, 1052. Hilarious. This trade's hilarious. Let me just zoom into that there. 1052 I got in because I saw that it dipped and my risk was going to be this low here where I sold before. Um, I saw it dipped below VWAP. I saw that it was kind of pushing it here um, a little bit, and I know that's soon to tell, but or soon after the dip. But I entered here, and I don't know if it was just all the other trades in addition to this, but I just didn't feel comfortable, and I ended up selling. And ironic, the trade that I did the correct thing where I bought in the dip and then sold even though it did not crack or even come close to my risk. I just felt like I didn't get in this trade right and I sold it when I should have just given it another minute and I would have seen that it pushed. And after I sold, I sat here and watched it and I watched it push again and push all the way up to here and that's just upsetting. I mean, I missed out on what, like a 5% gain or so. So I just have to be more confident too, but with a day like today, it's hard to be confident, especially when you just make tons of mistakes like this. Um, but again, I had my plan. I entered with my risk of being, the 360s area, high 350s, and I just cut way too soon. I lost $3 on it, but it could have been a nice little gain. So good lesson there. Um, and we'll move on to ISPC. ISPC is the next trade. This one had a beautiful run this morning. Beautiful run from the 15s to the 26s, and then eventually going up to almost 30, $29. Uh, and let's see where I traded it. ISPC, 11 o'clock. $25.87. So right about there. Oh. this thing just spiked, and I'm expecting it to, you know, it just spiked high too. And, what am I expecting here? I'm expecting it to, what, just bottom right here, bounce, and then continue past 30? That's just not something that I should be expecting a stock to do, especially when it just ran nearly 100%, so just a stupid move on my part. I should have just taken it off here, but I got greedy, um, and I didn't. And then it came back down into where I bought. I refused to take it off, and I believe my risk was this level here. Um, it cracked harder, and at, let's see, 1117. Yeah, right in here. Um, 2393. Right in there I sold, and again, going with the theme of what I've been doing wrong today, buying into these resistance levels. I mean, this is where it initially spiked to, and look at that. I mean, I bought right into that. Where's it going to go? It's got all this resistance, and then you've got, I mean, I know this is after, but then you've got this level here where it halted, and that's where it topped out. And then what? You've got this little bit of a level here, So just I don't know why I'm making these mistakes today, but it's good to see them and go over them. Because if I just was patient enough to wait until it got to the level where my risk was, I could have bought and taken, what might that have been? Let's say 24.30 to 28, 18%. I mean, that's a nice gain, you know. So, um, like I keep saying, rough day today. I don't know why I'm doing the opposite, but I don't know if it's just because of that long weekend or what, but I will get this eventually. I mean, you get good at everything if you put in the time and you study enough. So, ISPC, again, um, I acknowledged that I sold and it started to bottom here because I sold right at the beginning of where it was bottoming. I acknowledged that. I saw that it wasn't breaking down. So I risked the same level. I got in with the same amount of shares at 24.25, right about here. And it spiked. And I quickly took it off. 11.21. My problem is when these stocks go my way, I don't give them enough I don't have the patience for them. So it's interesting that on my losers, sometimes I'll let them ride all the way down to my risk level, which is fine because you have your predetermined risk. But on my winners, I just don't let them ride. So I'll improve with that as well. But I sold at 11.21 at 26.93. So I pretty much I got close to the top on that one. Not a bad little trade here. I was very proud of this one. So I basically made back the last trade and some more because the last trade was a 7% loss and this one was an 11% gain. So small size, I only traded with 50 bucks, but at least that gave me a little bit of confidence today. And I actually did it the right way instead of buying into resistance and trying to hold. So that ended up being a nice little gain. And let's see. We have two more. ISPC again. I took a loss on this again. Let's see at 1128. And going right back into old habits, die hard here. I was thinking this could push and break. I got in at 2814. Stupid. This is a stupid trade, stupid move. What am I doing? What am I doing buying near a potential double top? You know? And then what did I do? At 11:30 down in here, 26.99. Not even a good ad. I added because I just thought now that this thing double bottomed here and double topped here, I thought it could put in a higher low and continue on. But really, even if I did think that and that was my plan and my risk is down here, you know, why are you buying up here? There's no good reason. If it breaks out, it breaks out and you miss it. But, you could have bought into here, into this consolidation if you really wanted to, but you missed that chance, or I missed that chance. And then I buy at the top. And then I add into consolidation after the move, or into that consolidation level that was previous before the move, thinking that it might have some effect here. What are you doing? Maybe an initial position, but this is just, these positions are not great in my book. And then 1134, right in here, I added again. I just refused to think that this was over, and I added at 2602, so right about here. So I added at, I have some at 26, 27, 28, average is about 27. You know, what are you doing here? I'm just trying to figure out what my thought process on was when I entered this and added twice. Um, I have to do better than this. This is something that won't fly. Moves like this won't work, and over time this will just bleed my account dry. So it did pop here, and I thought, oh hey, there we go. There's that higher low. Um, I should have taken off maybe a third into this, but I didn't. And I just wanted to give it a little bit more time, which is ironic because on all the ones that go up, I just sell immediately, and on ones that end up being losers, I end up wanting to hold and hope. So I sold that, let's see, 1145 right in here at 25.3, right there. So I ended up losing, 6.5% on this overall. Um, just not a great trade. Uh, I don't really have much more to say about it. It was just not a great trade. I'm not waiting for the opportune moments to enter, and that's, you make money when you buy, and I just need to work on my entries. Some of them I do really well, and some of them I don't do well at all. I do the exact opposite. So I will keep that in mind going forward. And on to the last trade of the day, PTN. I really didn't want to trade again, but hey, Tim Sykes' philosophy is he's a retired trader, and he only comes out of retirement when he sees a play that is so good he thinks he's going to feel guilty missing it. So I didn't know when or if I would ever feel that way, but today I really, after I think I was down 30 or $42 on the day, um, yeah, about $42. I really didn't want to trade again. My buying power was low, and but then I saw PTN. Traded a little early here, but then I put in that double bottom, and then this higher low, and I saw it at, let's see, this is 1220. I think I saw it here at 12 in the 1240s, and I thought about getting in the 1240s here, but I just wasn't sure if it could continue to push. But I mean, with this action, if you just base it off a low of day and just enter, you really can't go wrong, you know. But at in the 1250s, it proved that it still had, it had some push. You can see that, some volume really started coming in, um, and it dipped. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna get in here. And at 1 o'clock, I got in at 82.95. I think it was right in here actually, at right about here. So that's a good entry. And I was holding to see if it could push and break out past this level here around 87.5. But what did I do? I got nervous, and as soon as it pushed, I was just happy today to have a gain. Um, and I ended up selling it way too soon. 86.25 I sold, so right about here. I mean, all day you're waiting for a move like this. All day you sit there and wait. You want to see this confirmation of a bottom. You want to see it push, beautifully push and break VWAP, come back down, put in a higher low. I mean, this is beautiful price action in my opinion. And it's in play, it's getting volume, and what do? I sell it in a minute. I mean, I left so much on the table here. I mean, in between 86 and, best case scenario 96. I mean, what are we talking there? That's 11% that I missed, you know. So, I had some okay trades today, but I had a lot of bad trades, a lot of opposite trades, and I can improve that. So the good news is I can improve on the mistakes that I'm seeing, and I just have to do better, and I will do better. Every day, I will be. It's just a matter of every day sitting down and saying, what can I be better at? And today, I just did a bad job. But tomorrow, hey, how could I be better than I was today or yesterday? Um, and as you can see now, it's way higher than where I sold. So, you know, that's ideal. Getting into something and then, I would like to be able to hold these things until the end of the day. I mean, it's about 320 right now, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see this push and possibly even break out because it keeps putting in these higher lows. Um, but we'll see, or it could sit mid-range. But those are my trades for today. 12 trades overall, 3 wins, 9 losses, 33% win rate today. Not great, and I'm down $33. Um, my highest percent gain. Let me put this up on the screen here. My highest percent gain was 11.05, and my highest percent loss was 8.86. So, and my dollar amount was lower because I was further from risk on this than with my loss um, for my position size. Uh, I don't really have much more to say. Over 5%, I only had one gain, and I had 3 losses. That's something I have to correct. And this column is mainly because I'm getting in when I shouldn't be getting in. I'm being too impatient, and I'll work on that tomorrow, and we'll see how that plays out. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Hope you guys had a good day trading, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Have a good one.